Another tip to gun safety is always keep your gun on safety when you're not ready to fire. Well, son of a bitch, Clyde.
I'm sorry.
I told you what. Get in the truck.
Well, I'm headed over to East Texas to shoot some commercials in the morning for one of my sponsors, and I stopped at Cisco, Texas at the Allsops to get a bottle of water. As I got to the door, a young family was coming out, young man and his young daughter. He started to open the door. I grabbed the door, pulled it open, held it open for him. He said, "Thank you, sir." I said, "You're very welcome, sir." About the time the wife comes out holding a little boy, "Thank you, sir, for holding the door." "You're very welcome, ma'am." They went on their way, I went on mine. Very casual, very cordial, very respectful encounter. And what if I told you that that family was black? Would it make any difference? Fuck no, it wouldn't make any difference. It makes zero difference. Politeness is politeness. Being good to your fellow man is being good to your fellow man. And all you assholes that keep drumming up racial division can kiss my ass.
Bless America, and welcome to It's Me, Jaz McKay, right here behind the cast iron microphone of the Jaz McKay Metro Mansion Studios in my living room in beautiful downtown Oildale, California, USA. And let's see, couple things I wanted to cover with. First of all, we are now on Facebook, I hope, because this whole thing is supposed to be automatic. Isn't that right, Bob? Yeah, it's all automatic. It's just all automatic. It's all automatic. You promise? I promise. Well, he says it's all automatic, and it just sort of goes out there to your Facebook, to your YouTubes, and all the rest of it. And we're just so excited and pleased as punch to have all these new viewers, all yesterday, 18 of you. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, well, people tune in all day long because a lot of folks don't have time to sit around and wait for the dadgum show to begin. I get this email the other day. Well, not an email, but what do you call it? A Facebook message. Jaz, you're supposed to start the show at 12 noon. It was from one of our viewers anyway. Says, I was waiting there for you to start the show at noon, and you never ever start the show at noon. It's always 10 after or 15 after. Oh, shut up. You'd be lucky that I even start the dadgum show at all. So everything is locked down. We are all locked down here in the great phallic-shaped state of California, right back where we were just about 2.5 months ago. Right smack dab where we were. All the bars, all the restaurants are closed down. All the mom and pop stores are closed down. Everything is closed down. Restaurants, my good friend Annette and her husband Chris, they opened up a great restaurant called the Social Distance House. I thought that was a clever name. But they got to close down. Everybody's got to close down. We're all screwed up. And I can't find Taco Works chips anywhere. Hey, listen, I got to tell you, I got a call today. Those of you that are Taco Works fanatics like me, Taco Works, for those of you that don't know, is the best damn tortilla chip you're ever going to eat in your life. It's not just a tortilla chip. It is a religious experience. And I know Body Bag in the chat room, and I know a bunch of dudes out there listening to us know exactly what I'm talking about. A little tiny company out of San Luis Obispo, California, and they sell their chips. I used to have to drive all the way over to SLO, all the way over to the coast, just to get my Taco Works on, right? Well, guess what? Taco Works, hey, yeah, look, Body Bag put the link up to their website in the chat room. If you have never tasted Taco Works chips, you got to try them. Now, I called and complained because I couldn't get Taco Works at the Vaughns, I couldn't get it at the Walmart, and couldn't find it at the Albertsons. So I called and left a message for Robbie, and Robbie called me back today from San Luis Obispo and said he's pissed that something's up with the distributors. He don't know what it is, but he's going to look into it, so we will have our ample supply of Taco Works chips replenished here in the land of the real man, Kern County, California, USA. And that put a big smile on my face because I'm down to my last bag, about just halfway on my last bag of Taco Works chips. And I need a fix. If you've never had them, they are the best. Now, I'm telling you, it's all in the seasoning, all right? This ain't no damn Tostitos or Ortega's or any of that other. All those other brands can kiss off because these are the best chips ever. And I thought maybe there was something wrong at the factory over in San Luis Obispo, but according to Robbie, everything is going all good over there. He's just got to get on the horn with his distributor and find out why they're sold out everywhere. I told him that they've actually taken down the displays at all the grocery stores here in town. So I'll get to the bottom of it, folks. Don't you worry. And I'm still serious. I'm serious about what I said yesterday about we should all just get ourselves a big ass like RV or something like that, and all of us take a trip over to the coast. We'll stock up on Taco Works chips and McClintock's beans, not the ones in the can, the ones that you get from McClintock's restaurant over there in a tub. We'll get ourselves a bunch of clam chowder from Splash Cafe, all that great food that they have in San Luis Obispo. We need that, and we need to get out of town, don't we, once in a while? Big orange bus. That's what we'll do. We'll get us a big orange belt bus and head over to the coast together and get out of this heat. Although we're lucky today, I heard Miles Musio last night telling us that the heat is actually going to be, we're only doing what, about 98 degrees today. It's only 98 degrees today. I don't know about you, but I feel fortunate that we've gotten a little break from this heat wave. Only 98, maybe 99, which really means 105. That's just the way it always works here in the land of the real man, Kern County, USA. And I am so excited because it's Tuesday on the Jaz McKay Show. And you know what that means, brother! Woo! Gender benders cheating. John Hawkins, wait a minute. What happened to our music there with Bob? What happened? Gender benders, cheating wives, family courts that ruin lives, man bun wearing beta males have replaced cuts with ponytails. Social justice runs amok, so climb up in my pickup truck. Do I offend you? Well, I don't care, cause you can kindly kiss my air. Men today need to cowboy up, stop acting like a bunch of buttercups. Get out there on that shooting range, play ZZ Top and turn up the range. BrassPills.com. It's a website just for men. BrassPills.com. It ain't for Barbie, it's for Ken, and he needs it. We got John Hawkins with us this afternoon. And, gee whiz, John was asking me before we started the show how things are going with Bob, our producer here. And I said, he's doing great. And then he does that and totally screws the whole damn intro up there, Johnny boy. How are you doing over there in Myrtle Beach, brother?
I am doing fine. It's awful hot down here. We're also a corona hot spot, so that's a big thing down here too.
Oh, you're getting the COVID again, huh? Everybody getting the COVID. How many
Well,
people?
not again. It was pretty slow. It's just it keeps spreading around. The thing is, it's like it all came out of New York, spread around the Northeast. Now all those people are going on vacation, and they're all coming here. So they're spreading all the corona down here.
I thought your governor had a roadblock set up at the border.
No roadblocks.
I thought they were keeping the New Yorkers out of there, man. You got to keep
Well,
them.
very, very early on, they had a 3-week time when they closed out, wouldn't let anybody come in, had the hotels closed, but they opened up.
Uh-huh.
And like I say, I think it's just spreading kind of in waves. It hit New York, then it hit the Northeast. Now it's just coming around. The only good part about all this stuff, I guess, is it's hitting a much younger group of people.
Yeah, that's good.
So the death rate's very low. Like if you look at Texas and New York, Texas literally has 1 death for every 14 people that die in New York this per capita. Like there's 14 times more people dying of this in New York than there are dying in Texas. And it's like that all around the country, which is good. You're not seeing the death rate spike up, although just because of the sheer number of cases, you're starting to see the numbers go up. I think we're at like 460, 470 yesterday.
460, 470.
Something in that ballpark range, a number of people that died in the United States off of like 60,000 cases. So, well, I guess I can just actually take a look and just tell you. Yesterday there were 37,000 new cases, and there were 547 deaths.
Well, that's 547 too many, John.
You know, it's also going to screw up my Nevada vacation.
Oh, that's right. You're headed to
I've got one of those. It screwed up every vacation this year, so I've got one coming up in September. We'll see how that goes.
Well,
slow down.
you know, I think probably Nevada would be probably pretty good in September. You're looking at 102 degrees to 105 probably average.
That's not going to fix it. It's hot as heck here. It's in Florida. It's still not stopping it.
Well,
so.
you know, but you got to remember though too. You know, like you said, the young people, and they don't have any symptoms. I got a buddy of mine. He's in his 40s. He's got it. His girlfriend's got it. She's in her 30s. She's younger than him, but they don't have any symptoms. They feel fine. Everything's going to be all right if people just chill the fuck out here. Good heavens to Murgatroyd! It's out.
You know, I was talking to my Muay Thai instructor last night. He actually has 3 different people he knows that have it right now, like right at the moment. 3 different ones. So yeah, it's definitely hot down here too.
Well, speaking of New York, I guess the other day, what happened? So de Blasio decides to go out and he's going to paint Black Lives Matter. He's going to graffiti the streets of New York City at the expense of New York City. Did you see this? I mean, he paid, I guess the city, well, he didn't pay for it, but the city did, and then he went out and made got himself a little camera time out there painting the Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Tower as just a way of, I guess, giving the middle finger to Trump? Is that what that was?
Oh, exactly. It's the middle finger to Trump. I mean, he's trying to go out there and play both sides of the fence. You know, hey, we don't want any crime, but here's Black Lives Matter. You guys should like us, and it's just playing a little bit of both sides. And when somebody vandalized that thing the other day, I noticed he was proudly the same day. We fixed this the same day. And it's like, people are getting murdered left and right in New York. The crime rate is skyrocketing again. But you can fix your graffiti.
200% rise in homicides in New York City alone. Okay. They just got rid of the plainclothes task force, which I think was 637, I believe, officers fired. He just cut the budget of the New York City Police Department by $1 billion, and he's out there, painting Black Lives Matter on the street on Fifth Avenue in front of Trump Tower. He paid for the paint. Well, he didn't. Again, I gotta say, make it very, very, very distinct here. He didn't pay for it. The city of New York did. And now, John, I see where Bill de Blasio is calling on Donald Trump to send him a couple of $1 billion in cash so he can go paint Black Lives Matter in other parts of the city. What do you think? Here's a guy who is probably, I think, isn't he considered to be the worst mayor in the history of mayordom?
he is a pretty awful mayor. Like, if you were picking one mayor, I think it would be a battle between him and the one in Seattle, maybe the one in Portland. Well, heck, Minneapolis. There's a lot of bad mayors this time.
I think
the competition's stiff, my friend.
I think he's beyond that. I think he is also a contender for the biggest douche in the universe on The Simpsons, or was it South Park? Right, Mayor De Blasio telling Donald Trump he has got to send money to New York City. Isn't all of this really all the lockdown and stuff and all of this junk really just a way of sucking money, federal monies, for these cities that are basically bankrupt anyway?
I don't know that the lockdown is a way to do that per se, but they're looking to get any kind of money they can, because there's an economic hit from this stuff. There's a hit from their lockdowns, which in most cases were not necessary. They never need to lock it down. New York may be one of the few places that did need to, because they were so crazy out of control.
Well, yeah, but I mean, 80% of the people that died in the state of New York were dying in nursing homes because the governor insisted that they go there.
Well, and I said this a lot of times, the real problem with New York is that we didn't isolate New York. Right now, they've got a thing. If you go to New York, at least I know they're talking about it. I don't know if they actually have put it in place yet. You have to quarantine for 14 days. It's like, you can't just go to New York if you come from certain states. And if we had done that with New York itself, we'd have probably 1/10 as many corona cases.
Wait, you mean they're quarantining people coming into New York?
Yes, because New York is finally
but that doesn't make
under control, but not that under control. But
no, it's not under control. If that's what wait a minute. I mean, you can't have one and the either it's under control or it's out of control, and you can't have both. And I keep hearing that New York is out of control, and then I'm hearing that New York is under control. But they want both. They want two sides of that. They want both sides of that Oreo cookie. They're trying to get both sides and the creamy filling, John.
Well, New York has definitely dramatically improved. They're still in like the top half of the United States in number of new cases, which, I mean, that's still a big improvement. That's because and again, it's me, from far as I can tell, it just moved. It moved from New York to the Northeast, where all the New Yorkers went to, and now it's moving to everywhere else. All the people from the Northeast are vacationing.
Well, shit, yeah, man. Look at what's happening in Florida. I mean, if that has got something to do with all the snowbirds that come down from New York into Florida. Used to live down there, South Florida, and I know
they have tracked this stuff, Jazz, and most of the cases in the entire United States came from New York, even the ones on the West Coast, because the strain of the virus that hit the West Coast was not as bad as the one that hit New York. So when New Yorkers would give it to people, my gosh, it spread more, it killed more people, it was just rougher all the way around.
God's honest truth, if you're going to quarantine anybody, it should be people coming out of New York. They should be quarantined coming into anywhere else they go for 14 days.
Well, we should have already done that. Now, not so we don't necessarily need it, but right at the beginning, if we had done that, I'm telling you, we would probably be done with this by now. Like, it all came out of New York. And and it's kind of tough. It's like, and I talked about this at the time, what's Trump supposed to do? Because, you've got Cuomo out there saying, hey, nobody's going to stop you from leaving. What's he going to do? Put the National Guard on the border? And people would say yes, but they can't do that. Nobody's done that before. No. You're not going to be able to pull it off. No. So, but it's like it requires some but really, if you want to know when people talk about what a great job Cuomo did with this, it's like, Cuomo screwed the entire United States with this, man.
Who's saying that, man?
Cuomo. The media all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. The same media. Yeah, I got you. The CNN.
I'm just saying, if you had a list, if they put up a list of the people that performed the best, Cuomo would be at the top of the list.
Oh,
and it's like, no, are you telling me that's different? Are you saying, who would it be if it's not Cuomo?
Well, yeah, it depends on who you asking, right? It depends on who you asking.
Oh, they pump him all the time, and it's like, dude, they're the worst performance on planet Earth. They still do. They still bring him out now. Let me tell you what you guys need to do the way we got everything fixed in New York. No, you had the worst numbers in the planet. Like, literally on all of planet Earth, the worst place that was handled, the worst, most infected place was New York, and then they spread it everywhere else.
And I would put old Gretchen Whitmer in there, and you got to put Gavin Newsom on that list too. Because, look, I mean, it was Murphy in New Jersey, it was Cuomo in New York, it was Whitmer in Michigan, and Newsom here in California that were putting all of the positive cases in nursing homes instead of hospitals, and then complaining that their hospitals were being overrun, while at the same time, hospital employees are being laid off because there's nothing for them to do. And all the people start dropping like flies, people in their 70s and 80s. I could have told you that was going to happen. I still say it was deliberate. I don't know that these governors knew that this was going to be the result, but they were acting on orders from somebody, because who would come up with that? If we found out anything right away at the very beginning of this in February, if we knew anything, we knew that the most vulnerable were the elderly and people with compromised immune systems, and that's what you find in nursing homes. So who the hell is going to put infected people in freaking nursing homes?
A bunch of incompetent liberals.
A bunch of liberals following the orders. Sig Heil. Somebody told them to do that. I don't know if it was Soros or not, but this thing was deliberately spread. It was without a doubt. This thing has been exploited to along with the George Floyd killing, has been exploited, and in 4 months or so, 5 months, I guess now, we have seen a transformation like Obama never could do. He always wanted to, but never quite could. And it's getting really scary out there, John. I hear a young woman, this young lady, this is being reported, very little reporting on it, frankly. Young woman was fatally shot over the weekend. This happened in Indianapolis. All over the term All Lives Matter. A woman by the name of Jessica Whitaker was among a group of people. Have you heard about this, by the way?
Yes.
It's
yes.
barely getting any coverage. The victim in this case, Jessica Whitaker, was hanging out with a group of people along a canal somewhere, probably getting out and enjoying some outdoor activity. Jose Ramirez was her fiance, and he said that someone in their group used a slang term for African Americans. I don't know what it was, but that's when
it's not the N-word.
It's
either.
not the N-word. No, it was something else. And that's when apparently another group overheard that. They approached them, and an argument ensued, and someone in the group started chanting, like we're hearing is happening all over the country, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives. Well, according to this Ramirez guy, whose girlfriend was murdered, fiance was murdered, he said that someone in their group shouted out, All Lives Matter. And that's when all hell broke loose. And I guess both groups were armed. And according to one article, says the groups then fist bumped and walked away from each other. However, minutes later, Ramirez claims the killer opened fire from a nearby bridge and then ran off. And according to Mr. Ramirez, he said it was squashed, and then they went up on the hill and left, and we thought that they were sitting on the St. Clair side waiting for us to come under the bridge, and that's when the shot rang out, killed his fiancée, all over this All Lives Matter. So now they're killing people, John, for saying All Lives Matter. First you just get fired from your job or you get doxxed or something like that, and now John Hawkins, BrassPills.com, they're killing folks.
Well, Black Lives Matter is not a good group here. One second, Jazz. I can't understand what I'm saying. The feedback in my ear is so loud. I can't. There we go. The problem with Black Lives Matter is they're not a good group. They are basically the Black KKK. Yeah. I mean, and when I say that, you might go, "Oh, it can't be." But think about it like this.
No, I think you're being kind.
No, I know, but I'm not trying to convince you. Let me try to convince your audience. The KKK, think about them like this. Do they ever talk about, gee, what can we do for white people? How do we make white people's lives better? No. All they ever do is trash black people. What does Black Lives Matter do? Do they get upset about, everybody notices they don't care about some black guy killing another black guy. The only people they care about, the only thing, their narrow slice of humanity that where Black Lives Matter is when a cop kills a black guy or when a white guy kills a black guy. Why do they care about just those? Because it gives them a great way to attack white people. That's what the group is really about. It's an anti-white group, and they just have a nice name. If the KKK was named "We Love Puppies and Kittens and Want to Help You," that's basically what it is. That's what they are. They're publicly acceptable.
I think you're right. I think you're right in the description of the useful idiots within the lower echelon of this group, or the people that wander, run around wearing the shirts and the hats. As far as the organizational, the folks at the top. These people, John, are hardcore Marxists. They are no different than the Weather Underground. They are no different than any of the leftist terrorist groups of the 1960s. Am I right?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And this is not a good group. Look, they've just got a nice little slogan. Well, we're just saying Black Lives Matter, man. And they play both sides of it. We're just saying Black Lives Matter. That's all we want to say. We want people to do that. Well, if you say, for example, all lives matter, Black lives are included in there. No, you can't say that.
No, you can't say that.
Well, what about blue lives matter? Don't you dare say blue lives matter.
Well,
so this is, when they say Black Lives Matter, they mean it the same way the KKK would mean white lives matter. They mean only white lives matter. The Black Lives Matter means only Black Lives Matter. That's what they're about. And I tell you one thing that has disappointed me a lot about the right, the commentary, the people who do commentary, is there's not a lot of them. There's a few, but there's not a lot of them, not a lot of radio hosts that speak up about this stuff.
Nope.
So the only people that end up talking about this stuff and end up talking about race are liberals. And they get the viewpoint all to themselves. You don't hear them coming out and saying this stuff, but if they're not going to defend it, what are you supposed to do?
There is one I can think of, only one in a conservative voice in the lamestream media.
Probably Tucker.
And Tucker Carlson. That's Tucker Carlson. That's the
Matt
only.
Walsh. There's a very few.
Yeah, but Matt's reach is not what Tucker's. I mean,
no.
Certainly.
If you're talking about the really big name ones, yeah, Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker is it. I think Laura Ingraham to a lesser extent, but her also. Not Sean Hannity. I think Sean is playing a game. Sean always has. Sean Hannity always has played a game. Now, Rush and Glenn Beck are saying that on talk radio, but again, those aren't the local hosts. Now, yesterday on this program, I read a letter. I didn't attribute it because I didn't want to embarrass my friend, but I got a buddy I got quite a few actually, that are very high up in the broadcasting world, and they would love to see me get back on the radio because they recognize great talent when they see it. But no, I was told, do not say all lives matter. You will never work in radio again if you don't soften your approach to the Black Lives Matter movement and start talking about positive things about wearing a mask. I won't do it, John. I'm sorry. I'm not. Why should we have to cower to these politically correct rules and regulations and not talk truthfully about what, and I was told, said, you can believe whatever you want to in private, but don't ever say these things in public. What? I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. All lives matter, and I'm not wearing a fucking mask. There. What do you think of that?
I could just tell you, Einstein used to say there is no science when there's no free speech. And there's no healthy culture when there's no free speech. There's no healthy republic when there's no free speech. And we're to a place where you can say, well, if it's not the government coming out and making it illegal, well, that's not a threat to free speech, but that's not true. We've set up a place where people feel like, all right, well, if I say what I actually believe, I might lose my job. I might get attacked. I might get shot. I might get physically attacked. I might have a mob of tens of thousands of people who come and attack me on Twitter. And we're not talking about crazy beliefs here. We're talking about very mainstream beliefs, in many cases held by the majority of the country. And that's not healthy. It's not good. It's fascistic. And the only way to break out of that is for more and more people to just break out of it and say, hey, well, I don't care about your cancel culture. I'm just going to do what I need to do. And that's why to me, it's disappointing that so many of the people who have that kind of juice, who could do the same kind of thing Tucker Carlson's doing, are just seeding the field and say, no, I'm not going to do that. That's a little scary. I'm not willing to take any kind of risk. And it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
They're scared. And I give a lot of credit to Glenn Beck, because as far as radio is concerned, of course, Rush is Rush. Rush can do whatever he chooses, and he owns the company. It may be distributed by Premier, but let's face it, the EIB is owned by Rush Limbaugh, so he doesn't have a boss to answer to. Glenn Beck is the same. So these guys have their own platforms and their own forums that they run, and they're able to do this. But yet a lot of the folks out there who are working, especially in the broadcasting business for smaller companies, are afraid to rock the boat and are out there talking. The white guys who are talking about, yes, I do have white privilege. I'll admit that. But that's no reason to shoot somebody. I'm sorry, man, but, if you're going to become part of the problem, you are not ever going to be part of the solution. As cliche as that is, it's true. I'm sorry. I won't do it. I won't. Look, if I never work on real radio broadcasting again and just regulated to the worldwide interwebs with 2 or 3 platforms here on the internet, fine. So be it.
Well, I think that politics in the whole country, I mean, listen, this may be a case where the country's on the way down and out.
You got to wonder.
I think there's a lot of people thinking that, and I think this is a symptom of it. When you have all these people, well, who runs the country? Really, as far as I can tell, it's a bunch of transsexuals and people that don't know what gender they are and people that hate white people. Yeah, that's the people who have all the authority and all the juice right now.
They're a minority, but yet they're using that minority status to force their opinions on everyone else. They're a small minority in this country. I got to tell you, a lot of that has to do with the majority of the country being they don't want to go out and push anything. They don't want to go out and say, hey, I'm the majority. How was 200 people on Twitter able to go out and make these corporations do what they want, and we're the majority of the country and nobody listens to us? Well, I think at a certain point it's that conservatives are very complacent, and they're very and moderates too, complacent, and they just don't want to go out and do anything. They don't want to do any type of work. They don't want to do any type of suffering to get this stuff fixed. And basically, you're letting a very small number of people determine everything that goes on. And a small number of radical, unhealthy people. I mean, I got to ask you something. I was reading something from Joe Rogan last night. He was saying, and I thought this was true, there are no haters that accomplish anything. There are no people that are out there pulling down statues that you want to be like. There are no people out there looting stores and burning them down. I mean, it may look like fun to some people, but these people are failures. If the more you listen to people like that, the more you're going to fail as a society, as a people, as everything. Why in the world do we let them drive anything? What do they know how to do? What is the Black Lives Matter ever built? Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Nothing ever. They never will. That's their whole goal, is to come out and whine and cry and get some attention and money and do this and that. But they're never going to succeed at anything.
They're not. But see, they're not trying to build anything. They are trying to tear us down.
But there's the thing. Why don't the rest of the people see that? If you want to say, hey, what has built a successful society? You can look at things like free speech and Western culture, and there's so many things. There's nothing that Black Lives Matter has to offer except grievances and failure.
Not a damn thing. And what they are offering is a hardcore push into totalitarianism, and people are sadly willing to just sit back and take it. And willing to sit back and say, you know what, I'm all for it. I mean, I am amazed sometimes at relatively intelligent people. I encounter them occasionally on Facebook. Usually they're friends of friends. They're not actually friends of mine. And I'll see something that they write, and I'll challenge them on it, and I'm amazed at how little they really know. Makes me ask myself, gee whiz, John, you and I understand where Black Lives Matter is coming from. We know who these people that are running this organization are. These are radical Marxists. These are terrorists. These are people who have committed acts of terror and are responsible for the deaths of people. One of them was pardoned by I believe Bill Clinton or Obama in the early part of the Obama administration. I think it was early part of Obama administration. You've got the FLAN groups, the radical Islamists in CARE are a part of this movement. This is the most radical of the anti-American groups out there that you could possibly imagine. And you talk to people who say, Black Lives Matter, and I support Black Lives Matter, and I'm all for it. And they have no idea who these people really are. And here's the kicker, they don't care. They don't care.
Well,
They don't care.
that is a thing, and it's not just about Black Lives Matter. We're drowning in information. There is more information out there right now than there has ever been. But all of it for 99% of people is, it's an inch deep and a mile wide. They heard a bunch of stuff on Twitter. They saw a headline here. They don't trust anybody enough to say, all right, well, this is the definitive voice. This is one of the things with the coronavirus. Nobody on either side, anyone out there, trusts anybody enough to say, well, if that dude says it, we can take it to the bank. Nobody does. And we're like that as our whole society. There are not a lot of people who can come out and say something wise and everybody goes, oh, well, that makes sense. It's all just entertainment. It's all snippets of information on social media. So people just don't know a lot, and they don't know who to turn to. They don't know who to trust with this stuff. And that's where we're at. And I think
no
the population
excuse. That's
Yeah.
no excuse. That is the lamest excuse. It's just it's too much to learn. Look, I understand these people have a life, right? They've got a job. And their job is to get up and go be a plumber or get up and go answer phones at an office. Well, I guess they're not doing that anymore. But they have a life. They got the wife. They got the kids. They got the all of this other stuff going on in their lives. But it's not that difficult to use this great gift in front of us that that Al Gore gave us, the internet. And even Google, or, if you want to get technical, DuckDuckGo or one of these others, because Google will filter certain things out. But God's honest truth, it's not that difficult to find the information. I'm just like I used to say, tap dancing monkey with a podcast here. I am not at all computer savvy, but I can go on the internet and look up these people's names who are involved in this group. And there it is in black and white. John, they're not hiding it. They're even saying it when they go on to even Fox News or CNN. It doesn't matter whether it's a leftist news organization or not. They will go on there and say, we will burn this country to the ground if we don't get what we demand. And yet there are people that sit back and go, I support Black Lives Matter. Well, what about this guy that said this? I don't know who that is.
Well, they don't. And
I know they don't.
Jeff.
Well, why don't they investigate?
You're talking about just Black Lives Matter. It's everything. It really is everything now. People don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're aggressively ignorant. I mean, I'll give you a great example of it. This whole Wayfair conspiracy? It is the stupidest thing I have ever heard.
Well, that's
basically,
you know what that is? That's somebody in some social media message board somewhere.
Reddit.
That's
some guy on
what
Reddit
I was going to say. Said, hey, let's start
Go ahead.
this rumor. Let's start this rumor. The same way with this. The OK means white power. Remember that? That was 8chan. That was somebody on 8chan said, hey, let's go out there and tell everybody that the OK sign, the 3 fingers up and the thumb and forefinger in a circle. Okay means white power. Let's tell, and that became and people got fired. People got kicked out of sporting events because they made the okay sign. They are that stupid. Yeah, you're right. They are that stupid.
That's where we are. And again, with this Wayfair thing, all there is to it is people like, I don't understand it. How is these cabinets so expensive? Must be pedophilia. And it's like, wait, what? So you think they're buying? I saw Snooki. Okay, Snooki from Jersey Shore saying it's so terrible. Wayfair is selling children online. It's like, well, you're rich. Why don't you go buy one?
Well, you know what? And
buy one and then bring them there. And then when FedEx ships you the little crate with the holes in it, you can pull the child out, save it, take pictures, and then just shove it all in our faces to think you're an idiot.
For a little Snooki, I had to do a double take there. I was what? Who? What? But the people that believe this shit, you know what? To be honest with you, this will probably destroy Wayfair.com. I would not be surprised if this destroys Wayfair. They have to declare bankruptcy and go under because these people are so stupid as to believe that it's true. And there's nothing it's just like John Hawkins is a racist. He's a member of the Ku Klux Klan. People are going to believe what they're going to believe. They're just going to believe it, and there's nothing you can do to change their minds.
Well, and it's the whole thing, like with QAnon, same thing. I've asked people they're big into stuff. So this seems completely moronic. Explain to me why I'm supposed to buy into this. I'm genuinely listening. You just got to go watch this 48-minute long video, man. It's like, well, wait, what? You're telling me there's like an anonymous dude who's telling you everything from behind the scenes, and I need to watch a 48-minute long video to understand.
And that's all it's going to take is watching. That's the thing. It's 6 of one and a half dozen of the other. So I got to watch this long, 48-minute long. But that's really just in 48 minutes is going to convince me.
Well, and that's how that stuff works, and we're doing that with everything now. I mean,
Well,
you see this all the time with all. I mean, look, there's still lots and lots of people.
The 9/11.
Yeah, Michael Brown, he died. He was saying "hands up, don't shoot," and his cop shot him.
That's
and and it's this stuff's still going
on.
on.
I encountered someone here just a couple of months ago. I encountered someone who still believes that. But you got to just go back and you got to look. It's like these college kids. They got time on their hands, apparently, even before COVID came in and their classes all went online, and they come up with this shit. I mean, the whole 9/11 conspiracy thing, the whole inside job was created. And the funny thing is, years later, the college kids who created this bogus video that like within the first year of following 9/11, admitted we made the whole thing up, and nobody believed them. Everyone was like, no, it's real. And these were the guys that started. It's kind of like the college kids that started this, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon or something. They got too much time on their hands. They come up with this stuff. It's just like the hoax with the OK sign or the Wayfair thing. And people start believing that shit. And it becomes true. And they will not change their mind. It's like the adrenochrome thing. It's like the adrenal chrome thing. There are websites devoted to this, and I have gone on to Facebook pages that push this stuff and read people that have just, and you know who the worst are, John? Are the people that have just discovered it. Who have just discovered it. And they say, adrenal chrome. Oh, yeah, they're killing babies and drinking their blood. And let's face it, there is some truth to that in history. But they think that it's happening today. And then they'll see some picture of somebody acting weird, some video of somebody acting. Oh, they must be on adrenochrome. And Paul. I got this the other about a year and a half ago. Paul Simon, he's on it too. He's on the adrenochrome because he wrote a song, Adrenochrome. Oh, for the love! I shit you not. There was a person on Facebook trying to suggest that Simon and Garfunkel, and this was a Paul Simon song called Kodachrome, and they believed that Paul Simon was killing babies and drinking their blood and writing a song about it. They had no idea that Kodachrome is a type of film, and that's what the song was about. But they thought it was about adrenochrome.
There was time when oh, that feedback's killing me.
Well, it ain't on my end, pal.
Okay. I'm just saying it's okay. There we go. It went away. So what I was going to say is back in the day, like let's say a few thousand years ago, people just attribute this stuff to the gods. They
Sure.
didn't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
You know? Oh, I don't understand how this works. So, you know, I guess Zeus put a thought in my head. And well, now all these people who don't understand how anything works because they're not very smart,
Yeah.
they go out and attribute it to conspiracy theories. You know, well, I cannot possibly understand how a cabinet could be that much on Wayfair, so it must be pedophilia. Or I don't understand this, and this because I'm incapable of it,
right.
and so it must be this, and this. It must be a conspiracy causing it.
I don't want to get into conspiracies, but let's go ahead real quick and explain what we're talking about, because some folks may not be aware of what this whole Wayfair crap is.
Okay, I'll give you the.
I had not heard about this until this morning listening to Glenn Beck. So go ahead.
It drove me up. Well, so Wayfair, you had some guy on Reddit who saw these cabinets. These cabinets were like $12,000 to $14,000, and they look like regular cabinets. And he's like, "Why are these things so expensive?" And he said, maybe they're selling children in them or something. You know, like they put them on Wayfair, and you buy the $12,000 cabinet, and instead they deliver you a child
in a box.
In a box, I guess. I assume with air holes. I don't know how that works. Maybe FedEx. Maybe FedEx has a special van they bring the children in. I don't know how this works. But so, and then this thing just took off. And all these people are like, aha, they're selling. And people all over the place, like they're selling children. It's sick. People I know. Some of them, at least one, it drove me up a friggin' wall. I would have dumped her except I knew her. And she's putting this stuff out here. And it's like, look, they are not selling children on Wayfair. Why the hell would they do that? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I was talking to somebody else, and they're like, well, maybe they're doing that thing that drug dealers do with their money. Laundering it? No, they're not laundering money by selling children on Wayfair. That's not how that works, okay? But if you were going to sell children, you wouldn't sell them on Wayfair.
There's a lot easier ways to do it, too.
You don't want to do that. It's why you don't put like a whole thing. Hey, buy this cocaine. We're calling it a garbage bag. You don't do that. That's not how that works. You don't do that stuff, my friend.
It all works. John Hawkins with us, brasspills.com. Let's go over to the John Hawkins website, brasspills.com, and take a look here. What do we got? Oh, let's see here. I would direct. I don't want to. We don't have much time left here. We're running out of time. 20 best Joe Rogan. Oh, real quick about Joe Rogan, because I see that is at the top of your page. Joe Rogan is an amazing person. I never would have thought.
Oh, he is.
That this guy would rise to the level of popularity that he has. But what an inspiration for anybody doing what I'm doing here, podcasting. But he's not a liberal. But
he's liberal.
Well, I know, but not.
I used to think he wasn't liberal. But he's liberal. He's just not like the rest of them. He actually is interested in hearing different opinions, and he's open-minded.
But no, John, he's a classic liberal. But that's not what liberals are today. The classic liberal, of the John Kennedy variety of liberals, but he's willing to listen to other folks, and so to me, he doesn't classify as a genuine liberal by today's standards. Will he be caught up in any of this?
Oh, they try to do that all the time.
But they haven't.
Liberals are always trying to. Well, here's the thing. Joe Rogan is so popular with his core demographic, and his core demographic doesn't care about that crap.
Right.
And the people who work with him just realize the same thing. Spotify just paid him $100 million.
Right.
He's got infinite money. He's super popular. The UFC doesn't care about it where he's doing that. The podcasting world, people want to be on his show. People like him. He is a really impressive dude.
No, yeah.
He had a great career. He's a really funny stand-up comedian. Some of the stuff he's done, he's really genuinely talented.
I remember,
he's done TV.
Yeah, he was. The first time I saw the guy was on a television show called News Radio with Phil Hartman. And Phil Hartman played a newscast. It was a radio station in New York City. Stephen Root was on. That was the first time I ever had seen Stephen Root. He was the owner of the radio station, and Rogan was, I believe, it was one of the characters on the show. I think he was an engineer or something like that. And no, he's a really, really interesting guy and a funny guy. And I just wonder if I know they've gone after him. Do you think?
Oh yeah.
They'll ever have any?
No. He's just look, he's the dude everybody wants to be friends with. He's like that super cool dude that everybody's like, oh my gosh, if I knew that dude, life would be. I mean, everybody likes him. And so when they all try to go after him, it's very hard to cancel him because he's too popular. That's the thing. So he's got a diehard following. He's also got enough money. He doesn't care. It's kind of like J.K. Rowling with the transsexual thing.
Right,
it's like, listen, she's got $1 billion. Do you think she cares?
But
if you want to whine about her, she's got enough money. It just doesn't matter. So yeah, and he's a brilliant guy. He's done he's an actual martial arts expert. He's just done a lot of stuff. Does bow hunting for elk. He does all this cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And that right there alone, he's not an example of today's liberal.
No,
he is not by any stretch, and they know he's not one of them. And I'm convinced Media Matters, Black Lives Matters, all these other matters are sitting around just trying to find something in this guy's past that they think they can ruin him with. And the thing about guys like Joe Rogan or even me, we're open books. You can't do anything. You can't dig around in our past to find anything about us that's going to embarrass us because we've told everybody everything. We're open books. That's what I admire about Rogan. I don't think you could find anything. Well, maybe they'll find out that he's shipping kids in Wayfair boxes or something.
Yes, that's really who's behind the whole thing.
That's really who's behind it. It's Joe Rogan. One of the posts that you wrote about. Now, I don't know where you get these stories. Here is a woman, her fiance. So tell now. Is it he wants to pay?
Yeah. So here's what's going on with this.
Okay.
This woman is getting ready to marry this guy, and he had a fiance. They got to the point of fiance. They were high school sweethearts, and she died suddenly and unexpectedly 6 years earlier.
That's terrible.
Right? So
terrible.
You can imagine that would make an impression on somebody. But it's weird because constantly, like where they're preparing for the wedding, and her name was, I think the pseudonym she gave was Mandy. She's like, the parents are talking, Mandy would have loved this wedding so much. And she's like, okay, this would have been a perfect dress for Mandy. And and the husband does this stuff. And then he's like, all right, we need to have a tribute during the wedding to Mandy, maybe, because she never got to have a wedding. And she's like, this is not a wedding about Mandy. This is... Man, and it's like she died 6 years ago. And again, you get how that would make an impression, but it's like, do you want to make your wedding now about your 6 year your fiance who died 6 years ago? That's really weird.
Now she writes this. She's asking advice. She wants people to tell her if she's a bad person and is she overreacting because she doesn't want Mandy mentioned at her wedding. I think she's dead. I think she needs to dump the guy.
I got to tell you, I don't know if I'd go that far. I would be concerned. I would be concerned because, look, it's not healthy. They obviously haven't processed their grief, and it's the whole family. It's not just the husband. And here's the thing. These situations when somebody dies when they're really young like that and they just got engaged and they were high school sweethearts, she's obviously an idealized memory. So she is competing with Mandy.
Right.
And guess what? Mandy is always going to win because she's a perfect version in his head. I don't know. Mandy didn't do the dishes like that. Exactly. Mandy didn't really like that. Can you imagine that? It's like, oh, God. So I would be worried about that, and I definitely would not move 1 inch on all that stuff. They need to just let this stuff go. Look, life is for the living, and it's really when somebody dies you care about, and it's happened to most of us. At one point or another, somebody you care about dies. It's tough, But it's not even healthy to hold on to that.
Well, no,
Who-
not at a
Why would
wedding.
someone
I
who
mean,
cares about you want you to be talking about him 6 years later all the time?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying, though, because this guy's not over Mandy. There's no doubt about it. And the family here, his family, who are going on and on and on about Mandy, too, to this poor woman. Look, this is a bad situation. She should run for the hills.
I got to tell you,
hills,
you got to be careful. It's something that should concern her a lot. It's definitely a red flag. It's a big red flag, and it should give her some thoughts. I'm not saying she should take off. I tend to try not to do that because people all the time. It's just people's situations are so unique, and if you start telling people, well, you should just take off all the time, or if you go the other direction, you're going to be wrong a lot. They've got to make their own decisions. But yeah, this is a big red flag. It's something that should worry you.
This is bad. That's you'll find that story along with many, many others at brasspills.com. And I wanted to talk about, before we go, John, because I think this is hysterical. You have something called the 20 most hilarious infomercial gifs. Now, first of all, explain exactly what a GIF is. It's a moving still photograph, right? I mean, it's a kind of a cross between it's a meme, but, well, explain what a GIF is exactly.
Well, it's just a little moving image. It's just it's like a few snips of video with no sound. So you might see 4 or 5 seconds worth of movement, something happening.
Here's one. Now, this is about infomercials, which we all know and love infomercials, don't we, folks? What is this woman? She's got a towel. She's trying to wrap the towel around her. And this is one that you look at first because she's wearing a bra, but it's not got straps on it. So it doesn't look like she's wearing anything, and it's flesh colored, so it's a little confusing there. Here's one about this is the egg cracker opener there. And this is my favorite, though, this one right here, folks, the plastic wrap. Do you not know how to use plastic wrap, lady? Please. What is this guy with the tape measure? Trying to measure for blinds, no doubt. There's the mixer. Here's the kid with the spills. All the spills. Look at the mess that you make with your mixer. Takes the mixer. Takes it out of the mixing bowl, splatters everywhere. And with the lady with the dishes, or the what is that, Tupperware, falling out of her cupboard. Here's the kid with the ketchup all over himself, and the Cheetos. He knocks over the Cheetos. Here's the kid with the milk. An exploding taco. Look at all the problems we have, folks, in a world today. And thank God there are people who are thinking up. This is my favorite right here. What the hell is that? It's a block of wood, and she's trying to cut a loaf of bread. What is this, a doorstop? Don't you hate it when your doorstop doesn't work as a bread slicer? Thank God we've got people out there, John Hawkins, who are thinking up all these different things that we need in our lives, and they make infomercials, and they all get funding from Shark Tank, I think. John Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen. John, have a great one. We'll talk to you next Tuesday, my brother.
Thank you very much. Always great to do your show. Give them hell, Jazz.
As always, and we shall. Right here, the Jaz McKay Podcasting Extravaganza. And we'll be right back after this, folks.
The Jaz McKay Show is on.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Legal Clinic. Remember Ed's motto, no matter how big your problem is, we'll take it. No matter how weak your case is, we'll take it. And no matter how large your bankroll is, we'll take it.
This kitchen is so hard to clean. If only there was an easier way.
Hi, I'm Derek Bum. Say goodbye to daily stains and dirty surfaces with new Kitchen Gun. This sink is filthy, but just 3 shots from Kitchen Gun, and it sparkles like new. Look how it cleans this greasy hob. Goodbye, dirt! Grubby tiles! I love you, kitchen gun! Rusty taps! You can even use it on the washing up! There, all clean again! New kitchen gun, now with laser sight and night vision for after dark cleaning!
But wait, there's more.
This toilet is so hard to clean. There must be an easier way.
Hi, I'm Derek Bum, and I'm declaring war on toilets with new toilet grenade. Just pull the pin, pop it in the bowl, put the lid down, and let toilet grenade do the rest. Bang! And the lime scale's gone! Toilet grenade, bang! And the germs are gone. And now new travel toilet grenade for foreign lime scale.
But wait! There's more!
This old knife just doesn't cut it anymore. There's gotta be something better.
Now there is.
Wow.
The Come On ceramic knife. It never needs sharpening, and it's only $29.95.
It really works.
And if you order right now, we'll send you the matching paring knife and bread knife.
Now that's a deal.
And during this special offer, you'll also get our special cutting board, knife holder, and cleaning cloth with special Come On cleaning solution, good for your knives, counters, and laundry.
This is amazing.
We're not done yet. You'll also get the mixing bowl set, ice cube trays, an inflatable chair, glow sticks, a shower pen, fridge magnets, an ironing board with shirt rack, an electronic Sudoku puzzle generator, language translator, mouse pad, and a mascot outfit.
I don't have room for all of this.
We're also including a closet organizer, bags of some kind, large plastic geese, and a deluxe litter box.
I don't have a cat.
And today only, we're doubling the offer.
I just need a knife.
Order now from Come On Ceramic Knives, a subsidiary of Unwanted Merchandise Disposal Services.
Just sit right back and you hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing lad, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. Makes me wonder. Ooh, really makes me wonder. The ship set ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne, here on Gilligan's Isle. Was tossed, if not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. And they're here on Gilligan's Island.
Hello? Hi. I come in peace. Oh my gosh, I come in peace too. Well, that is good to know. My name's Alexandria. What's yours? Oh my gosh, my name's Alexandria too.
Oh my gosh, she does this like every day.
Yeah, it was funny at first, but now it's just getting annoying.
We gotta get off this island, Chuck.
Oh my gosh, Joe, what are you doing? Nothing, I was just smelling her, that's all. You can't do that, Joe. We're on a deserted island. I can do anything I want. Oh, I don't care. I sniff my way to the top all the time. Alexandria, are you sure this is gonna work? Oh yeah, I designed a special fuel made up entirely of coconut farts. Did you say coconut farts? Yep, coconut farts. Well, I'm not gonna be sniffing those coconuts then.
Jeez, now they're talking about coconut farts?
Yeah, it's getting crazy. We gotta get off this island.
Well, I'm not going back until Trump has been impeached.
Yeah, me neither.
Have they gotten a newspaper today?
I don't know. I'll go check.
Oh, it says here that Trump's still trying to build the wall. Yeah, Trump is like seriously creating illegal immigrants by forcing them to enter this country illegally. You really are quite unintelligent, aren't you? If unintelligent means economics degree, then yes.
We're seriously never gonna get off this island.
Gosh damn it, Nancy, stop being so negative.
Sorry, but it's the truth.
Yeah, I don't see us getting off this island anytime soon. What if we, like, totally invented something that has never been invented before to get us off this island?
Oh, yeah, like we haven't already thought about that?
Well, I sleep with whoever I need to sleep with to get off this island. Sorry, but I can't help you there. There's a lot of places that you could bury bodies on this island. Hey, Pete, you want to come back to my hut and slip into my hammock tonight? No, that's like never gonna happen. Oh my gosh, what if mashed potatoes really meant applesauce? Oh, Pete, I'm wearing my bamboo underwear. Sorry, I'm only attracted to my husband's bamboo underwear. Wait a second, if we land on the sun at night, we might just be able to get off this island. When are we ever gonna get off this island? I don't remember the last time I smelled a woman.
The only way we're getting off this island is if Trump gets impeached.
Well, we all know that's not gonna happen. Does anybody have a shovel I can use to dig a 6-foot hole?
Pete, is that bamboo in your pocket or you just happy to see me? I don't know what's come over me, but I've never been more attracted to women in my whole entire life. Must be all them gas station boner pills I've been feeding you. Well, whatever it is, I'm attracted to women now. Well, it look like I'm gonna get a new raise. I just took a dump. It's one of those soft steamers, so it's literally impossible to pick up.
Hey, where's that soft steamer? I'd like to give it a sniff.
Anybody got a shovel?
Well, it looks like we're gonna be stuck on this island for another 4 years.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Trump's going anywhere.
This is horrible. I hate Trump.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Oh, man, what are we gonna do for food? 4 years? That's a long time.
Well, if we run out, we'll just eat Alexandria.
Yikes! Looks like I'm gonna be somebody's fart.
Now, back to good, wholesome, politically correct entertainment. Oops. Now, back to the Jaz McKay Show.
Yeah, buddy, welcome back. Jaz McKay with you. It is a Tuesday here in the land of the real man, beautiful Oildale, California, USA. And... it occurs to me that, again, I was talking with John Hawkins about this just a little bit ago here about what it just seems how little people really know about what's going on, and it's not all really that difficult to explain it. Well, to understand it may not be all that difficult, but sometimes to explain it is not, well, it's not my strong suit. So I tend to, when there is something that needs to be explained, I prefer going to smart guys, of which I certainly am not. So in order to understand Marxism, all right, which is what Black Lives Matter is, it's a Marxist organization. And as long as you understand Marxism, and communism, you should be able to see the connections. If you just put remember when you were kids and we had those connect the dots books, it's kind of like that. It's really, really easy. But rather than me try to explain it, let's go to a smart guy, a real smart guy, and have him explain exactly what Marxism really is and how it's not what a lot of people think. It's not compassion by any stretch.
The fact that the postmodernists dare to be Marxist is also something that I find, I would say, not so much intellectually reprehensible as morally repugnant. And one of the things that the postmodern neo-Marxists continually claim is that they have nothing but compassion for the downtrodden. And I would say that anybody with more than a cursory knowledge of 20th century history who dares to claim simultaneously that they have compassion for the downtrodden and that they're Marxists are revealing either an ignorance of history that's so astounding that it's actually a form of miracle, or a kind of malevolence that's so reprehensible that it's almost unspeakable. Because we already ran the equity experiment over the course of the 20th century, and we already know what the Marxist doctrines have done for oppressed people all around the world, and the answer to that mostly was imprison them, enslave them, work them to death, or execute them. And as far as I can tell, that's not precisely commensurate with any message of compassion. And so I don't think that the postmodern neo-Marxists have a leg to stand on ethically or intellectually or emotionally. And I think that they should be gone after as hard as possible from an intellectual perspective, an informed intellectual perspective. And this is fundamentally a war of ideas. And that's the level of analysis that it should be fought upon. And not only is it a war of ideas, I think it's one that can be won, because I think that especially the French intellectual postmodernists are a pack of, what would you call them? Well, we could start with charlatans. That's a good one. Pseudo-intellectual would be good. Resentful would be another. And then I would also consider them they're highly deceptive in their intellectual strategies, because almost all of them were Marxist student intellectuals, and they knew by the time the Gulag Archipelago came out, and even before that, that the nightmares of the Soviet Union and Maoist China were of such magnitude that they had completely invalidated any claim to ethical justification that the fundamental Marxist doctrines had ever managed to manifest. And so it's a no-go zone as far as I'm concerned. Intellectually, the game's over. We've already figured out that there are finite constraints on interpretation, and we also understand why those exist and how they evolved. And from the perspective of political argumentation, there's absolutely no excuse whatsoever in the 21st century to put forth Marxist doctrines as if they're the bomb that's needed by the compassionate and by the bomb that's administered by the compassionate to the downtrodden. Sorry, tried that, didn't work. We got 100 million corpses to prove it, and that's plenty for me. And if it's not enough for you, well, then you should do some serious thinking, either about your historical knowledge or about your moral character. So that's the first thing.
Yeah, I think that's about the size of it. This right here, little film.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go.
What you get
downtown
with Marxism. This is what we have to look forward to in our future if Black Lives Matter actually wins.
Listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights so much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you.
Remember when downtown was a fun place to go?
Downtown.
When we were kids. Not that way anymore.
Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown.
Yep.
Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm.
awesome. That's what you get downtown nowadays, folks. I remember in the good old days. Ah, yes, the good old days. When downtown was someplace special. When heading downtown with your mom and your dad, and it was just so cool. But anymore, no, that's not what downtown is. And this is an example, folks, right there, of what we have to look forward to everywhere. All right? If Black Lives Matter wins, if Antifa, which is nothing more than the militant terrorist wing of the Democrat Party, we've already talked about at great length exactly where the money goes when you donate to Black Lives Matter. Does it go to help black children? Does it go to find jobs for African Americans in the inner city? No. No, the money that you donate to Black Lives Matter, money everyone donates to Black Lives Matter, goes straight to the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is no longer a liberal party. The Democrat Party now is full-blown communism. We had a little experiment back in the 1950s with Joseph McCarthy. McCarthy was trying to root out communism. This pissed off the communists. He was successful to some extent, to a certain degree. And then something happened. The communists pushed back. And they lied and said, no, that's not who we are. We're not communists. We're just the Democrat Party. We're just liberals. And they kind of went dormant for a number of years. They reared their ugly heads during the Vietnam War once again in the 1960s. Then they went underground again, disguised themselves as compassionate, caring, loving people, tolerant people. But that's not what they are. And they never were, and they never have been. What you're seeing play out in cities all across America, what you see playing out downtown, what you see all over America is a result of letting our guard down and giving in and allowing these radicals, these lunatics, to run the asylum. Take a look at it. This is your tolerant Democrat Party today. These are your never-Trumpers. This is a result of all that compassion for all those many years. This is what you get. You got about 18 days, 117 days. It's going to get a lot worse as we get closer to Election Day, trust me. You think this is bad? Wait till you see what happens after Election Day if Donald Trump wins. But we've got to get to that point. And Donald Trump has to win. Look, I'm no Republican. I'm just a patriot. I love America. I don't want to see this country destroyed. I don't think that we need to be fundamentally made over fundamentally transformed, or whatever terminology that they use. This is a great country. Still is a great country. It was and always will be a great country. If we can stop these sons of bitches now. And it starts in November. I'm of the belief that we will prevail. I'm of the belief that we can stop all of this. Just don't lose sight of what's at stake here. If you've got children, if you've got grandchildren, if you love this country, don't let these sons of bitches defeat us. It is imperative that we push back in every way possible. Don't become sheep. Don't let them win. We can't afford it. For the sake of our kids and our children's children, for the sake of all of mankind, the last great hope on earth is this country. The last great hope for the entire world. That's going to wrap it up for yours truly, your old buddy Jazz. I'm out of here. Time to hit it. Turn it over to the fabulous dancing babes. Dance us out. I'll be back tomorrow doing the same damn thing right here on Twitch.tv, YouTube, and Facebook. And God bless America. God bless our law enforcement. And death to the New World Order.